Right, Playboy, we're back and we're going to talk with, well, we're not going to talk with, but we're going to listen to the madman from the city of brotherly love, the one and only J.S. Garrett Bay. And let's hear what this Bay has to say. Um, he's changed his opinion on whether people should fudge dice. And, I got to admit, I haven't watched this, so we got to watch it because this is an evergreen topic, as he said in the first couple minutes. Um, Now, I'd like to know, what his opinion is, but let's see. I mean, that's the thing about Garby. That's one of the things I like the most about him is that, I mean, whether he's right or wrong, he definitely has opinions about shit. And I'll tell you what, I respect people with strong opinions way more than like super wishy-washy people. They just feel more real, you know what I mean? Um, just like more believable. So we got this Basque bastard. Actually, I don't know that he's a bastard. He's probably comes from a good home, but he says he's Basque. And every time I think about that, I think about the little blonde guy that tries to kill John Cusack in Gross Point Blank. And so maybe I shouldn't be too hard on Mr. Garibay. For all I know, he's a Basque separatist, and one of these days I'm going to be like, doing some yard work and he's going to show up out of nowhere with like a pin and an Uzi. That's a joke, obviously. I don't think Garabay's got a mean bone in his body, really. I hear he's got a little bit of a temper, but I mean, hey, who doesn't? So I can't even judge him on that, right? But fudging dice, before I even hit the play button, I'm going to tell you my response to that. No, never, n- n- uh, unde, la, nine, yet, no, just no. Never fudge dice. Dice are rolled in the center of the table where everyone can see them. Whether you are a DM, a player, I don't even care. You roll your dice in the center of the table, unless you're using like a dice roller with like some kind of your phone or something. In which case, like my bro, anytime he uses a dice roller, when he hits it, he holds it up so that I can see the numbers that come up, which I honestly believe electronic die rollers on average roll way shittier than just normal dice. But some people, for some reason, they like freaking electronic die rollers. So whatever, right? Um, I think you're handicapping yourself when you use electronic machines, but whatever. Let's listen to this guy though. Damn, it looked like he's driving on I-4 there. Who who knew Baltimore looked so similar to Orlando? Look how flat it is. I would think that Pennsylvania, right? No, Baltimore's Maryland, but I would think it'd be a little bit hillier than that. But okay, whatever.
Hi, friends. This is your pal Scott Garibay. Today, I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and I want to talk about the evergreen topic of fudging dice. All right, so this is an evergreen topic. I've been doing D&D commentary for 10 years, and I've probably done 20,
Yes.
maybe 30 videos on fudging dice over that time. And the reason why is this topic constantly comes up and up again and again and again. Right?
Yep.
It happens all the time. Okay. And so you very and it is an interesting subject. The reason why we're talking about it today is I have changed
I don't think it's interesting. I think the answer is always no. Do not cheat.
my stance on fudging. Okay, so what was my previous stance? Here's my stance. As a dungeon master, you should never, ever, ever fudge, ever. Right? I feel so
See, I agree with that.
strongly about this that I don't use um, a dungeon master screen. Right? They're extremely helpful. I would love to use a dungeon master.
You can, bro, but do what I do. I lay it flat in front of me so that I've got the screen laying in front of me, right? So I can just look down at the screen and I can still roll the dice in front of everybody. And if I need to hide like a map or something, I can slide it under the DM screen, right? So, I mean, I don't like having a DM screen separating me from the players. And sometimes I actually get up and walk around while I'm running a game. So, yeah, just take the screen instead of making a wall out of it, just lay it flat like a placemat. And that way you got all the information you want. And then on top of that, you you can still feel connected and roll dice out in the open and stuff. That would be my advice to you, Mr. Scott Gabby.
screen. But I feel like if you there's so many problems with dungeon master screens. One, why on earth should you erect a barrier between you and your players? It
He said erect.
it immediately, like, people will like have a problem with the word master, like dungeon master, right? Nothing you can do is more
Master, master, master of puppets is pulling your strings. Anyway,
I'm a dungeon master, we're different, than literally erecting a wall between you and the players and keeping a bunch of secrets. It is not helpful. It's terrible.
well, I mean, being the dungeon master, yeah, yeah, there should be like, look, I'm the dungeon master, you're the player. I make the game world. I set up all the encounters. I adjudicate all of the rules, and you sit on your ass and eat snacks and enjoy yourself. There is, look, players versus dungeon masters, we're not the same. Sorry, we're not the same. And I don't even think we should be trying to be the same. It's two different jobs if you want to put it in the terms of jobs. It's two different jobs. And one job, the player is pretty freaking easy. Show up, try not to be a douchebag, roll dice, play the game, enjoy yourself. And the other one, the DM, I mean, well, that can be as difficult as you make it. I mean, some DMs will spend 20 hours a week just trying to come up with shit. And it's not like, well, maybe some are getting paid for it, but most of us aren't. Most of us do it for love of the game. And maybe because we like being the center of attention, or perhaps we just get off on seeing other people having a good time. I don't know. Uh, that should be something. I mean, Scott, I know you're going to watch this, so if you want to make a video that like I would request, it would be, what's your opinion on why do we DM? Because we could be doing a lot of other shit. We could be playing board games. We could be playing Warhammer. We could be out in the yard playing bocce ball. I mean, there's literally a million things we could be doing that are easier. So, what makes a person want to actually DM? I would love to hear your opinion on it. And then, um, hey, I'll react to that or I'll make my own video and we can, like, have dueling why we DM videos. It could be awesome, Scott. It could be freaking good. Get on it, buddy.
I think using a dungeon master screen is horrible. And one of the things it allows, and here, and so
I do agree, though, that putting a wall between you and the players, not cool. But having it as a placemat, like I said, that's awesome. You get the best of both worlds. So, Scott, you and I are totally, I think we're together on this one. I think.
I don't fudge. I never fudge, and I make every roll in the open. Right that way, and like Professor Dungeon Master says this best. He's like, "Hey, dungeon masters don't kill players; dice kill players, right? But if you use a dungeon master screen, nobody knows if the dice killed it, because you can fudge, right? So if you use a dungeon master, so my take is, and that's as far as I went. No
See, I'm going to stop you here because dice don't kill players. Stupid decisions kill players. And while, okay, I'm going to give you the caveat that if the players go in the dungeon and all they do is roll like ones and twos, okay, yeah, they're going to be in trouble, right? But a good player can find ways to mitigate a poor average on the dice. You know what I'm saying? But a dumb player can roll well and still die. And I'm not saying a dumb character, I'm saying player, you know? Dumb players kill characters because they're the kind of idiots that when they see a green demon head with an open mouth on a wall, they run up and stick their head in it. Okay, well, great. Now you're dead. It doesn't matter because no dice had to be rolled for that. The dude just stuck their head in the green demon head, and now their head is gone. You see what I'm saying? Poor decisions. A good player that understands the way to mitigate luck by taking certain actions, making sure they're trying to flank enemies and using terrain and stuff like that, they will totally change the averages of the number generators around, no matter what game you're using, percentile, die 20s, whatever, to where the averages will forever be in their favor. You know, but yeah, dumb players that do dumb shit, they're gonna die. And there's nothing you as the DM can do unless you're willing to cheat.
Dungeon master should ever fudge, right? That's not enough now, right? We're in a world where we really need to start thinking about player fudging, players fudging. Oh, we don't need to think about that, Scott. Players should never fudge dice. It's not. They're not even allowed. Dungeon masters are allowed, but players aren't. That's not part of the.
Dungeon masters aren't allowed, neither are players. Nobody fudges anything. Roll in the open, uh, and may the Lord have mercy on your soul. But if you cheat, you're cheating, and you're a piece of, well, you're just not a good player. If you have to cheat, you're not a good player. That's all there is to it. I mean, if you're a good player and the dice let you down and your character dies, well, be dramatic, in game, of course, not out of game. And then think of the next kind of character that you want to play that maybe you've never played before and make that kind of character. And a good DM will get you right into the action, lickety split, and it'll be fine.
Conversation. You're wrong, and this is where my opinion has changed. All right. So first of all, if you're a dungeon master, do not fudge. Okay. And do not use a DM screen, or you can use a DM screen, but every time you roll, literally lift the DM screen up and show your result. Okay, that
Bro, just lay it down like a face mat, roll on top of it. I mean, come on, you're making things harder for yourself, homie. Take my advice. Use your DM screen the way I said. You'll be fine. You'll be great. You'll get the DM screen. You'll get to roll the dice in the open. And where you said as a DM, never fudge. You and me, man, we're like freaking arm in arm doing a freaking hoedown right now, right? Like swing your partner to and fro. That's where we are. I mean, we're 100% in agreement on that.
that's fine. Okay, but you have to roll in the open, or you have to display every roll you make. Okay,
Mhm.
and even that, like even lifting it up is like there's a. I love Dungeon Master screens. I wish I could use them. You can't use them. It's just it. All right, let's do it this way.
I mean, so far, again, you're 100% right. I am detecting no lies here so far, right? Um, the DM screen, I mean, yeah, I don't like it, and I play at home at my table with people I've known for years, and I 100% feel you, man. It's like you're putting a barrier up, right? It's almost like you're blocking the chi or ki, depending on whether we want to be Japanese or Chinese or whatever, you know. It's like you're blocking that flow, and you're just throwing the vibe off and everything. And yeah. So you and me, we're agreeing so far.
Anybody, you got to give the DM screen up. And the reason why is even if you keep it, it just gives you a chance. Even if you're displaying every roll, it gives you a chance to fudge, right? And here's the kicker.
Well, if you have principles, you will not fudge. That is the thing, you know. Um, It's the screen won't make you fudge. You'll fudge because you don't have principles, and you would fudge either way. I mean, you can fudge. I've seen people at 40K tournaments cheat so many ways with dice, like they roll the dice and then instead of picking up all the ones and twos and threes, they pick up all the successes, but they do it fast so you can't really tell which dice sixes were good or bad. I've seen so many dice games, and you can even I've seen it when I used to run Adventure League where character or players would roll their die 20 and then pick it up really quick before anyone could see it and then say, "Oh, it's a 19." I mean, so, that's just a matter of people having good character and principles. And unfortunately, a lot of people these days, especially 5e and 6e players, just have very poor character.
Players, if your dungeon master is using a dungeon master screen, right, or obscuring their dice rolls in any way, it is your obligation, in my humble opinion, to begin fudging as a player group. You should learn to fudge. You should
See, but what if the DM isn't fudging because he's 100% honest? He just uses a screen. You're basically saying if he's using a screen, whether he's fudging or not, you should fudge just in case he's fudging. And that's bad advice. I mean, that's incredibly horrible advice. I can't disagree more with you on that one. Um, that's horrible advice. No, players, if I catch you fudging, you are in trouble. You are in big trouble.
fake your rolls as often as possible, and you should help each other as players to fake your rolls. If the DM isn't gonna honor the dice, there's no reason in the world you should. Okay.
DMs don't play by the same rules that players do, homeboy. If the DM wants to use the screen, the player should be able to trust the DM enough that they know for a fact he is not going to cheat. If you don't have that kind of trust for each other, you shouldn't be hanging out. I mean, I don't understand why you would be friends with somebody that you can't trust that far. I mean, geez, man, come on. Be a little bit more picky on who you play with.
So this is my new stance on fudging. Okay. If your dungeon master rolls in the open and is not fudging, you should never fudge as a player. If your dungeon master is fudging rolls, some people are actually open about it, which I'm shocked that any DM would ever do that. That is the worst take, right?
That is the worst mistake. See, that's where you and I agree. DMs, players, nobody should be fudging rolls. Roll the damn dice and take what's coming to you. You get what you deserve.
Like, hey everybody, I'm lying to you. Aren't you having a good time? Yeah.
The thing is, though, most of the time when DMs fudge dice, it's to save the players or to make shit happen for the players in a positive way. So you see that with your 5e and 6e players a lot because the DM's so much more concerned with the story than the game. So, if something would happen in with the dice that might affect the story negatively, then the DM will, cheat and fudge the dice so the story can happen. And that is why I despise the idea of story gaming. Because it takes away players ability to make their own decisions and F up and do what they want to do and whatever. Um, so yeah, I mean, but I have to tell you this too, and this is for everyone, right? Two rights or two wrongs don't make a right. Two lefts might make a right, but two wrongs don't make a right, or three lefts, whatever it is. So even if you think your DM is fudging dice, that don't mean you should do it. There's a certain thing called personal accountability, character, and principles, and we should all try to live by them as much as we can. Granted that we're all sinful people living in a fallen world, but we should at least do our best, right? Don't just like give in and say, well, if everyone else is going to be, a horrible person, I'm going to be horrible too. That's no, you don't want to do that.
Good lord, right? Like I swear, like I really feel. Well, nah, this isn't me just saying this. there is a lack of good DMs. So there's a bunch of terrible things that happen under DMs. The DMs will just say it out loud, almost like, you know, like when partners neg another partner. It's just like, oh, I'm just going to tell you flat out, I fudge. I can't imagine.
Very common with Wizards of the Coast D&D. You don't hear it nearly so much, not even 1% as much amongst old school AD&D players. Because I mean, the old school AD&D player, the guy running OSC or Osric or some shit like that, yeah, they're not fudging dice. But your freaking story gaming, let's all go to the prom 6E player with their freaking trans beholders and shit like that, those people are fudging the dice because they don't care about the game. They're trying to tell a story about how the two BIPOC, you know, Transformer elves hooked up, and they can't let the dice get in the way of their freaking, you know, degenerate opinions.
I know there are some dumb DMs that do it. Like they're like, I'm fudging, I'm cheating on the dice rolls, and I'm just telling it to you now because you have nowhere to go. There's nobody around here that's going to be your DM. Okay. If your dungeon master tells you they're fudging, if they roll behind a dungeon master screen, you as a player, in my opinion, are obligated to begin fudging, right?
At that point, I don't know. Maybe you should just get up and leave and never play with that DM again. And, you know, if the other players agree, then one of you guys become the DM and hold yourself to the higher standard and build a good game group based on trust and love of the game.
To find ways to lie about your result, right? And the
Look, I don't want to make it like super religious. I know you're evangelical, which is basically just a nice way of saying heretic. But Scott, you should not be telling people to lie. I mean, that's you're basically telling people to commit sinful acts. And even as a evangelical heretic, you should know better.
reason why is just synchronicity, parallelism, right? Is It's karmic, right? Like you should not honor the dice rolls if the dungeon master isn't going to. So my new take.
That's why you don't play with that DM. You and your buddies, the other players get up and you leave. Go start your own game. Play your own game. Hopefully a better game like AD&D or something. Uh, and or Star Frontiers. That's a great game. Uh, and you let that DM roast in his own noodles. And if he's got a problem, you tell other people, yeah, that guy cheats. He's a piece of shit. He cheats all the time. I don't want to play with him. That's why I don't play with him. But what you don't do is lower yourself to their level, right? You can be in the world, but be not of the world, that sort of thing, bro. Um, and I'm sorry for insulting your religion, even though. Well, okay, what I meant to say is I hope I don't hurt your feelings, even though your religion is heretical. Um, but take it as me just saying, "Hey, bro, it's not too late. You can straighten yourself out." I mean, Baltimore, I just did a Google search. You got a shit ton of Orthodox churches up in that area, right? Or Philadelphia, wherever you are, the city of brotherly love, I think, right? Philly, there's plenty of Orthodox churches up there. Get yourself right and don't lower yourself to the sinful ways of the world, you know? And I say this because one, it's good advice for every single human being. Uh, you know, become Orthodox because it is the correct religion, in my opinion. And two, and it's not just my opinion, and two, don't lower yourself to the same standards as a scumbag. Hold yourself above that. It's called having self-respect.
Is that any dungeon master fudging a single roll in any campaign fully permissions every, I would even say obligates every single player at the table to fudge dice and to report whatever.
See, that's like saying if you know somebody who's a thief, then since you're hanging out with the thief, it obligates you to be a thief. No, that's not how life works, bro. If one person's being a horrible human being, you continue to be a good human being. You know, that's how it works.
Result they want whenever they want. That's a new take. That is and I also think it's a completely unique take. I don't think anybody's.
I'm sure people who agree with you. I mean, I agree with you in essence about the don't freaking fumble, fudge dice at all ever. Um, yeah, I agree with that. But the rest of what you're saying, no, it's not good advice. And it makes me wonder, bro, like, okay, since you made this video being all like, this is how I feel about this now. I mean, I don't want to be super assumptive, but is this something that's happened recently at your table? I mean, spill the tea, man. I mean, were you gaming with some people and the DM just kept being a cheater? So you thought, well, if he's going to cheat, I'm going to cheat, kind of thing. I mean, or did all this just happen in your mind? I mean, I tend to think it probably happened in real life because I don't think you would just like hallucinate this stuff. But let us know, man.
And I think the reason no one just really discussed this before is this conversation has always been on the side of the dungeon master, right? And there's been an assumption that players should not fudge.
Well, the assumption is no one should fudge because it's not good for the goose nor the gander, and everyone should hold themselves to the highest standards when it comes to honesty and love of the game. So, what you're talking about is kind of a very backwards way of looking at it. If one person does something bad, that doesn't give everyone else permission to do something bad. I know I've said that like 100 times, but I want to reiterate it. If one person does something bad, everyone else needs to talk to him and tell him to stop doing it. And if he refuses, shake the dust from your sandals, go on and form your own D&D group and play the game the right way, which means no fudging dice.
If the dungeon master is fudging, the players should absolutely fudge. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion.
Well, I'm doing the important part. I'm giving you my opinion. Maybe not so humble. Um, and I don't know what a fetch is, and I don't intend to live for a millennium. But interesting video, interesting topic. I agree with half of what you said, but couldn't more strongly disagree with the other half. Again, two wrongs do not make a right, my man. So if somebody at the table is being wrong, deal with it, but don't lower yourself to their level because, I mean, that's how you find yourself burning in hell for all eternity and stuff like that.
Get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider like and subscribing and have a fetch millennium.
Yeah,
Hi.
yeah. I still don't know what fetch millennium is. Yeah, I probably will never know what a fetch millennium is. Or, I mean, it's like what? But whatever. Let me get this put up. I mean, I managed to turn Garaby's 6-minute video into almost 30 minutes. But hey, if you like it, subscribe or whatever, and share your opinions on both what he said and what I said. And then if you're feeling really cool, maybe go to give his video a thumbs up or, tell him whether you think he's right or wrong. I mean, so yeah, I mean, I guess the least I could do since I'm making content based on some of his content is to send somebody over there to thumbs up something for him so that, sharing the wealth and all that. I think that's just being neighborly. But anyway, peace and love, God bless, and hold yourself to a higher standard than, you know, what people expect. You'll never go wrong. Bye bye.